There's certain stories in hip hop that never really leave us. No matter how many years pass, some names continue to carry weight because their impact was simply that powerful. Nipsey Hussle is one of those names. More than 6 years after the Grammy-winning rapper, entrepreneur, and community leader was tragically taken away, a major chapter in his family's story has finally reached an important milestone. His two children, Emani and Kross, have officially received their shares of their father's estate. And for many fans who have followed this journey from the very beginning, this moment feels like something much bigger than money. It feels like another promise kept. It feels like another piece of Nipsey's legacy finding its rightful home. According to recently released court documents, Nipsey Hussle's children have officially received distributions from their late father's estate, which has previously been valued at approximately $11 million. The exact amounts remain sealed, but reports say both children inherited equal shares through cash and other assets. That's a huge moment, not because of the dollar figure alone, but because this represents years of legal work, family discussions, court proceedings, and careful planning to make sure Nipsey's children were protected. For anyone who followed everything after his passing, you know this wasn't a quick process. Nothing about losing someone like Nipsey ever is. When Ermias Joseph Asghedom, known around the world as Nipsey Hussle, was killed outside his Marathon clothing store in Los Angeles in 2019, the entire hip-hop community stood still. Fans couldn't believe it. Artists couldn't believe it. His neighborhood couldn't believe it. One moment he was building businesses, creating opportunities, investing in technology, opening doors for young people, and talking about ownership. The next, everything changed. But even during that heartbreaking time, there was one thing everyone kept saying: we have to protect the kids. Because behind every superstar, there is still a father, a son, a brother, a family. Nipsey left behind two beautiful children, his daughter Emani Asghedom and his son Kross Asghedom, whom he shared with actress Lauren London. While fans saw Nipsey as an icon, those two children simply knew him as Dad. That perspective changes everything. Money can never replace a parent. Success can never replace a hug. Awards can never replace memories. But what an estate can do is make sure a parent's hard work continues providing opportunities for their children. That's exactly what Nipsey spent his entire career trying to build. He wasn't only making music, he was creating ownership. He often spoke about buying property instead of renting, building businesses instead of simply collecting checks, creating generational wealth instead of temporary success. Those ideas weren't trendy, they became his lifestyle. And today, his children are benefiting from those lessons. That's exactly what generational wealth is supposed to look like. Not flashy, not loud, just secure. According to reports, both children received equal portions of the estate. While the precise financial details remain confidential, the estate has previously been estimated at around $11 million. For fans, that news brought relief, because for years, many people wondered how everything would eventually be divided. As many remember, Nipsey's estate has gone through several legal processes over the past few years. One of the biggest conversations involved his daughter, Emani. Following Nipsey's passing, custody and guardianship became a complicated family matter. It wasn't something fans celebrated. It wasn't entertainment. It involved real people trying to navigate unimaginable loss. Fortunately, after years of legal proceedings, Nipsey's brother Sam Black Sam Asghedom and Imani's mother Tanisha Foster reached an agreement regarding Imani's custody. The arrangement includes shared legal and physical custody, while Nipsey's mother and sister stepped down as co-guardians. That agreement represented something important: peace, compromise, a shared commitment to putting Emani first. And honestly, that's probably exactly what Nipsey would have wanted. Because throughout his life, family always mattered. One of the most touching updates recently involved Emani herself. She recently celebrated another major milestone: graduation. Photos shared afterwards showed proud family members standing beside her as she completed another important chapter in her life. Think about that for a second. When Nipsey passed, she was still a little girl. Now she's becoming a young woman. Time keeps moving. Life keeps happening. Birthdays continue, graduations happen, dreams grow bigger. That's the hardest part about grief. Life doesn't stop. But maybe that's also the most beautiful part, because every accomplishment becomes another reminder that love continues. Fans continue showing incredible support for Lauren London and Kross. Lauren has often spoken through interviews and public appearances over the years about carrying Nipsey's legacy with grace. She hasn't tried to replace him. No one could. Instead, she is focused on raising Kross with love, with strength, with purpose. And judging by everything fans have seen, she's doing exactly that. One thing that always separated Nipsey from many artists was his long-term thinking. He wasn't chasing overnight success. He constantly talked about building brick by brick: ownership, real estate, businesses, technology, community investment, financial literacy. Those conversations sounded different back then. Today, they sound visionary. Many younger artists now speak about equity, ownership, and creating wealth beyond music. Nipsey helped make those conversations mainstream. His influence extends far beyond rap lyrics. It reaches boardrooms, neighborhoods, schools, small businesses, young entrepreneurs, parents teaching their children about money. That's legacy. When fans hear that his children have officially received their inheritance, it feels symbolic, because everything he talked about actually happened. He built something that outlived him. That's powerful. Social media quickly filled with supportive messages. Many fans simply wrote, "Long live Nip." Others commented that they were happy knowing his children would continue benefiting from everything he worked so hard to create. Some called it justice. Others called it bittersweet. And honestly, both feelings can exist at the same time. Because every positive update about Nipsey's family also reminds people why these legal processes existed in the first place. He should still be here. He should have watched Emani graduate. He should have celebrated Kross growing older. He should have continued building businesses. He should have kept mentoring young entrepreneurs. But life doesn't always give us the ending we hope for. Sometimes legacy becomes the next chapter. Not because anyone wanted it, but because that's all that's left. That's why stories like this matter. They're reminders that good planning, responsible financial decisions, and building something lasting can continue protecting the people you love, even when you're gone. For so many people watching this story probably isn't really about celebrity news. It's about family. It's about parents wanting to leave something behind. It's about making sacrifices today so children have opportunities tomorrow. Nipsey often talked about planting seeds. Years later, we're still watching those seeds grow. Not only through businesses, not only through music, but through his children. And maybe that's the greatest success any parent could ever hope for. Money comes and goes, albums break records, awards collect dust. But giving your children security, giving them opportunities, giving them a foundation, that's forever. As Emani continues becoming a young woman and as Kross continues growing into his own future, millions of people around the world will quietly continue rooting for them. Not because they're celebrity kids, but because they represent something hopeful. Proof that love can outlast loss, that hard work can become generational, and that even after unimaginable tragedy, a legacy can continue inspiring new chapters. Nipsey Hussle once showed the world that success wasn't measured by what you owned. It was measured by what you built, what you gave back, and what remained after you were gone. Today, his children receiving their inheritance isn't simply another headline. It's another reminder that his vision, his discipline, his love for family, and his commitment to ownership are still making a difference. And somehow, that feels exactly like something Nipsey would have smiled about. Because while legends may leave us far too soon, real legacies never, truly,